Hi guys, welcome to the show.
Hello.
So Sahib, Bibi and Gangster returns. How do you induct Soha into the gang?
The Sahib, the BB, so obviously I'm the gangster.
So how did that all happen?
Yeah, for that you have to watch the film. Can't give away the story because it's basically taking off from where we left the first part. As in Sahib is on the wheelchair, Bibi is taken control of the entire situation. But how these characters come in, Irfan is the gangster obviously. How Soha's character comes in is what you have to see in the film because it's done very interesting.
They already had a chemistry because they worked in the first part, Soha. So how was it when you came on board?
I actually adjust very quickly, so I wasn't too nervous, and they're quite nice, friendly people. So, you know, it's not like nobody spoke to me, except they put us in this Haveli, which was very scary. There were 4 of us. Mahi and I were on the top floor, and Jimmy and Irfan were on the bottom floor. And it was this huge Haveli, which was also the location where we were shooting. So they said, कि आपको आसान होगा, आपको वहाँ पे उठ के हम यहीं पे shoot करेंगे, so you don't have to travel. So we said, ठीक है. And it really, like every night at 2, 3 in the morning, I would hear furniture being, you know, moved across in the next room where nobody was sleeping.
Really?
In the middle of the night, the door would open and a random stray dog would walk into your bedroom. It was like that.
Wow.
So it was a little bit scary, and but very atmospheric and you know very nice that way.
Fun.
Irfan says that he has so much faith in Tigmanshu, he didn't even read the script of the film. So how was it for you all?
Same here.
Yeah?
The script actually I don't think was ready before we started.
You just like walked into the set and
Nobody
saw
read the script.
it rolled.
Yeah, I think she's a great director, and you know, this is my 3rd film with them, and I understand him completely. So yeah, I did not actually read the script.
What about you, Jimmy?
I read the script.
You read the script, yeah. And
No, in the sense that when he was making the first part, he was clear at that time only that if the film is liked by people, if it does well, he will go ahead and make the second one. That's why he's left the ending of the first one like that. And he already had a story in his mind as to what is going to happen in the second one. But yes, finally when the script was ready, I mean, I was quite nervous about this one because I felt this was a much tougher character to portray because he's on the wheelchair and his frustration. Somebody who's used to that power and that kind of possession, that kind of stuff, and all of a sudden he's limited to a wheelchair. And I knew that Tishu is like that. I mean, you might read a scene and you might feel, oh, what's there in this scene? But the moment you go to shoot for it, and it's a completely different approach to that scene which he takes.
Mahi, was it tougher than the first?
And this one was very tough.
Yeah.
I found this character very difficult, though it's the extension of the first part, but this was tougher in the sense that her cheez dugni ho raha, in the sense she's become even more aggressive and ambitious, and she wants all the power, to khatarnak ho chuki hai, things like that. So it was difficult, yes.
We also heard that you had to drink to get in the real, feel of the character.
A little bit, yes.
A little bit.
I was trying with
At like 7 in the morning.
Yeah, something at 8:30 in the morning, but very little. ऐसा नहीं कि मैं गिरी पड़ी थी और ऐसे दली हो रही थी, nothing of that
Half a bottle
sort.
type.
No,
Types?
hello.
Okay.
नहीं, थोड़ा सा, yes, just to get the feel, that's it.
So what about you? Did you have to
I'm not drinking at all.
So what are you doing? You're not drinking, smoking. What are you doing in the film?
I'm the saintly innocent, unlike all these people. But no, it's interesting because all the characters are great, and my character appears very innocent and you know very yielding, but she's not really. Everyone's a survivor, so she does what it takes to survive.
We see last year, we saw the birth of so many directors in different kinds of movies. So do you all think it's a very good space for Indian cinema right now? The character roles that people are playing, it's not just so hero-centric anymore?
I think there has been more of a focus maybe on making closer to reality type of films. You know, Irfan was saying this earlier that maybe 10, 20 years ago, we went through a phase in cinema which was very bad. And we were making all kinds of just very bad films and copying a lot of films. There's some wonderful original stories in India. More of that needs to come out. It's starting to come out. People are associating with realistic cinema, realistic characters. Lots of films are being made. Lots of new actors have come into the industry as well. Lots of new faces, interesting faces. So I think it's a very interesting time, certainly. I'm excited by what the future holds. It is also competitive, of course.
Right.
Some of the same old stuff continues, the hero-driven song and dance.
The two of you all, being outsiders to the industry, how difficult and how different was you all to reach where you all were?
I don't know, it just happened, and It was difficult
Yeah.
initially, but then I'm happy. You know, people have accepted me, and I am getting interesting films, interesting roles to play. So I think, yeah.
What about you, Jimmy?
मैं तो लगा हूँ 13-14 साल से. I'm still at it.
So what about you? Being an insider, was it
I don't
different? Was it easier?
I don't think I'm an insider actually.
Yeah.
Because for example, on Cyber Gangster, I was the outsider because I was the new person.
Yeah.
Because Irfan is new to Cyber Gangster,
Yeah.
but he's worked many times with Tishu
Right.
sir. But I've never felt like an insider or an outsider. I know that I have filmy connections
Right.
in my mother and brother.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it's not like I'm very close to anyone in the industry, or I have friends who are directors or actors. And I know that my brother said this recently as well, where he said that I don't really feel like a product of
Right.
the industry because we grew up in Delhi.
Yeah.
And we didn't grow up in Bollywood circles or at Bollywood parties watching Bollywood films. So it's been a different existence, and I think people have also appreciated that I have done my own thing and do my own kind of cinema, which has nothing to do with what my brother's doing. And it's certainly not trying to compete with him. But I'm enjoying what I'm doing and trying to carve my own identity.
And I also share a certain degree of intimacy on screen. How much convincing did that take?
It depends on how it's shot. It's just the script has to be interesting and the director you're working with.
When I saw Sahibi being gangster, and then when Tishu sir called me, I was terrified, I have to say, because it was quite bold. I think I wouldn't be wrong in saying that
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
certainly there were some bold scenes in the film.
Yeah.
And as a female actor and someone who's in a relationship with a young male actor, and I'm accountable to people, I was terrified. I knew that I wanted to be a part of this film. I knew I wanted desperately to work with Tishu sir, but I also knew that I would be very nervous to do certain scenes. And also I would be unable to say, no, I can't do this. And I want to be, agreeable.
Yeah.
So when he narrated it to me and he, there was no mention of, and then he was like, and then there's an intimate something and there's a moment here. And I had no idea what he was talking about. There was no script and I went ahead because I wanted to do this film. And I was very relieved that he came to me himself and said, the sequel is a lot tamer than the first one.
Tamer,
There's a lot of sensuality and there's a lot of intimacy, but we don't need to show everything.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a lot that you can leave to someone's imagination and still intrigue them.
Yeah, I guess also the way he shoots it, I guess that really
And
matters.
I've always found that that's a lot more tantalizing, actually, a lot more exciting to shoot something through some shadows and with the right music and the right light. And you can create that sense without showing it all.
Jimmy, don't you think character actors get very typecast, get very slotted somewhere? Like for you all, if you're doing a very strong, bold role, the kind of roles you get offered would probably follow a similar pattern.
People come to me and tell me, ma'am, आपके लिए script लिखी है, इतनी powerful, ऐसा आपने role कभी जिंदगी में किया नहीं होगा. I don't want to meet those people now. मैं कुछ और भी try करना चाहती हूँ. I want to try comedy, action, stuff like that. But आती है आपके पास इसके लिए नो आपने strong role किया था, इतना strong role आपको बता नहीं सकता, सबकी जिंदगी का सबसे strong role होगा ये. Things like that.
So are you guys nervous about this one? Because first one did really well, expectations are really high.
I'm excited about this one.
I am nervous, yes. Because I want it to do better and I'm sure it will. But I am nervous, yes, at the same time.
Soha.
I have a good feeling about this one.
Yeah?
I think I share Jimmy's positive attitude and I'm excited. I want to do as much as I can for this film. I want to be associated with it. I, of course, know that anything can happen. So I don't want to jinx it, but I have a good feeling and I don't see any reason why it shouldn't do phenomenally well.
Great, keeping fingers crossed. Really hope it works really, really, really well for you all. And thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.